Hello, and welcome to Round Glass. My name is Lisa Kring, and I'm so honored to be your mindful guide at this time, supporting your health and your well-being, and more natural joy as an attitude in any moment. So let me just say a few words before I offer this practice, just as a way to support the experience and the understanding. So, do you ever feel as if you're living your life asleep at the wheel, almost living on automatic pilot? Yeah, we can all mindlessly allow our thoughts, our mental patterns to drive the car of our lives. But in reality, it just does not feel good. It is not a joy. We can mindlessly just allow our thoughts to take the car of our lives, as I'm saying, and we can suddenly feel very numb, detached, irritable, bored, uninspired, maybe even depressed. But here's the good news. Whenever we can mindfully wake up and adopt a quality, a natural attitude of receptivity in any moment, suddenly we feel transformed. We feel awake, alive, fully present, and truly it's a joy. It's a natural joy. So this practice is just all about opening up, allowing the mind to kind of be like a satellite dish receiving life. And truly, as we do this mindfully in any moment, no matter what's happening, it becomes a natural joy as a byproduct of the experience. So from a mindfulness perspective, joy is actually an attitude in the mind. So I'd like just to bring this home a little bit and bring this to life. I would like to offer and just share a personal example of this. So I live in Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles, we find ourselves driving a lot. And not long ago, I was driving and I found myself caught in some pretty slow traffic. And of course, what naturally happened is I drifted mindlessly into a kind of negative downward spiral in that traffic, feeling irritable, feeling, quite upset about it. And I could feel that happening, that downward spiral, the contraction of that mindlessness, right? And in that moment, noticing that, I mindfully basically just woke up and I adopted this attitude of receptivity. I just opened to what was actually happening, kind of refreshing. It's like a reset, refreshing the mental field. And suddenly I noticed, and quite to my surprise, actually, I was still in the car, caught in traffic. Of course, that hadn't changed. But I noticed that the sky was absolutely blue and so clear and beautiful. And I hadn't noticed that until I kind of did this, right? And not only that, was it blue and clear, and I could feel my whole body kind of liven up and feel refreshed. And then I also noticed these birds flying through the sky. They were seagulls, probably on their way to the ocean. And in that moment, just by kind of waking up, putting out the satellite dish of the mind in this receptive way, that moment of driving in traffic was transformed into a meditation on the sky, which was truly an experience of wonder and joy, even as I was driving in traffic. So I hope that's a really practical example to really bring this to life and to inspire you to make this a part of your life in any moment, even when you're driving in traffic. So without further ado, I'd love to offer this practice of allowing receptivity as an attitude of the mind in this mindful way to be a natural joy. So inviting you, let's practice now. Inviting you to settle into a posture, a sitting posture, that actually adopts and embodies receptivity. So let's let the body lead and just bring a quality of wakefulness into the body. This is for you to discover and feel. Just perhaps rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest, and see what it's like. We open our chest, open our hearts. We're opening to life in this moment. What's it like to allow the body to wake up and be receptive, to feel what's present? So take a moment, make sure that the body feels supported and connected, relaxed but awake. I invite you to lean back. This is a beautiful quality of just receiving when we lean back a little bit. Bring some energy to the spine. You can notice that. And you might want to allow your hands to be open in a receptive posture. And when you feel ready, when you feel that you start to drop into and feel into a very receptive, alive, and awake posture in the body, celebrate that as a very natural joy in the body that perhaps you could feel. And when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes gently. And just receive. Let me offer this guidance and simply receive it. So as you close your eyes, inviting you to rest and to savor the experience of the body as open in this moment, alive and awake. And see if you can discover from this posture of receptivity, whatever you feel naturally, that you might be surprised by in a lovely way. The experience of the air or the temperature against the skin. Any light, warmth of light against any part of the body that you can receive and feel. It's also lovely to just receive the support of the earth. Just feel and receive that with the body. So, allowing the body to lead, gently now deepening our journey of receptivity as an attitude in support of that. See if you can let go of any agenda or preferences that you may have in the mind as we begin this practice. It's normal for that to be the case. But see if you can let them just melt away. Just dropping any goals, any expectations, any preferences, any agenda at all. And as you do that, see if it supports this attitude of receptivity by simply allowing there to be space in the mind for what actually is in this moment of life. Letting it find you. Allowing the mind to simply, as I was saying, to be like a satellite dish, receiving. Take a moment to notice for yourself how that feels, just to release expectations in the mind and make space for what's here. How does that feel? And then, just as a mindful anchor, Inviting very gently now the awareness, this quality of mindful awareness that is receptive, curious, awake, non-judgmental, open and present. Allow this quality to now very gently begin to rest and feel into the flow of the breath. Right now, this breath right now. The breath as an anchor for awareness cultivates naturally receptivity because there's nothing you need to do to make it happen. Sit back and simply receive this breath as it naturally is. Let it touch you. Feel it. Drink it in. And let the breath be a profound experience of life, the breath of life. All you have to do is receive it. Letting go of judgment and preference. And with this quality of receptivity, just discover the breath, the qualities, the sensations as they truly are, with a kind of wonder, if you like. And let this be a natural joy. What's it like to simply receive the breath with the whole body? Nourishing, fresh and alive. What qualities do you notice about the breath that perhaps you normally miss or overlook? And now to continue this journey of receptivity in this moment, we'll continue to receive life by shifting the awareness from the flow of the breath, always here, gently shifting the awareness now to the flow of sound. Also, already flowing in this moment. I invite you to sit back and allow the awareness to just rest like two light feathers at the opening of the ears. And receive sound with the whole body, allowing it to flow as vibration, sensual. Receive the orchestra of life in this moment. Refine this quality of receptivity by becoming curious about the sounds in the immediate vicinity. Even the sound, perhaps, of your own breath. And you can also expand the experience of sound out into perhaps the world beyond your vicinity. Sounds of birds. What is that really like right in this moment? Sounds of cars. With this mindful attitude of receptivity, we are gently dropping the filter of judgment and simply resting in the flow of sound as it really feels. Is this an experience of vitality, of wakefulness, perhaps of natural joy? It's also lovely to notice and receive the sound of stillness. As a natural joy. If you like, you can even begin to bring this quality of receptivity into the heart center and in a very intimate and tender way to listen to the music of the heart, to feel the weather of the heart. Perhaps there's much that you can receive from this good, tender heart in this moment. Listen and receive. So as we come to the last few minutes of this practice of receptivity as an attitude, mindfully allowing us to wake up to natural joy. If you like, you can just rest again in the orchestra of sound, opening back up into the surround sound of this moment. Perhaps with the whole body. Tune in and receive. Every moment of sound is going to be unique and different. Never the same. And for these last minutes, just resting and receiving this breath as it is. If you like, you can expand to include the whole body as you breathe in, and let the whole body see what this feels like to receive with the whole body, every cell of the body drinking in the breath as you breathe in. Just receive. Literally drink the breath in with every cell. And as you breathe out, just releasing, unburdening the body, letting go as you breathe out. And for these last few minutes, simply receiving the experience of this life in this moment, opening and expanding the practice to allow you to receive whatever is present. Perhaps surprising what you may discover that you feel. Areas of the body where there's no pain. Moments of stillness and quiet. The warmth of this living body in this moment. The nourishment of this breath right now, flowing in your direction. Receive it all. And allow this to be a natural joy right now. As a way to end this meditation, I am going to ring the prayer bowl. I have a prayer bowl. I'll ring it 3 times, and you can just allow this to be part of the receiving. I'll ring it 3 times, and see if you can just allow the sound of the bowl to flow through your whole body. Receive it as it truly is. Really feel the sound of the bowl as it rises and then gently fades. Each ring will be unique, never to be heard again. And in the 3rd and final ring of the bowl, just following the sound until it fades. And when you can no longer hear the sound of the bowl, the 3rd ring, you can open your eyes. So, what a joy to offer this practice. And in the wake of this practice, let's just take some time to reflect for a moment. What did you notice? What did you notice through that experience? How did it feel in any moment when the mind became awake and simply receptive, present, and open and aware? Was this a natural joy? Was this perhaps a very simple way, in any moment, no matter what's happening, to transform our experience from a moment of mindlessness to mindful joy? And lastly, what did you notice that surprised you, that was lovely, that no matter how ordinary or simple? So just reflecting, taking some time to let this really soak in. It's beautiful to do that, to let any insights, any awarenesses to soak in. So this can become a practice that you integrate into your life in any moment, whether you sit formally and take some time in the way that we just did, to really close your eyes and do it in the way that I offered, or in any moment of life when you can feel the mind mindlessly contract into that automatic pilot mode. You can notice that contraction and connect back to life by mindfully waking up and opening up that satellite dish of receptivity in the mind and allowing life to find you. But I'd love to just inquire and explore some questions, some common questions that may come up. Sometimes people often ask me in relationship to this practice, what should I do when my mind goes back to being on automatic pilot, back into that mode where we become lost in our thoughts? And this is so normal, and it's to be expected. The receptive mind is also waking up to that experience of when our mind drifts. That's also part of the receptivity, if you can imagine. So if the mind can stay receptive and wake up to that experience of the drift again in the mind, which it will happen, and in fact it will happen, it's to be expected, let it be an opportunity for receptivity, actually. The moment that we can notice in any moment the drift of the mind, which is normal, it's its nature to do that, we are waking up, and in that space of receptivity, we have a choice. And we can simply return back to an anchor in present moment awareness, such as the breath or sound. These are two very simple anchors to return to. And it's beautiful to come back in a way in which there's no judgment. We're opening in that space of receptivity. We realize that the mind has drifted. It's actually such an important part of the practice to bring receptivity to that experience. And then to see what it feels like to let go and return to this breath right now that's always here to come home to. Such a beautiful anchor because it's so reliable in that way. Or just to tune into sounds or, sight. Coming home to our senses is a beautiful way to continually redirect and regulate our awareness back into present moment joy. Here's another question I'd love to explore. How should I be feeling after I meditate? There's often, I think, and even in this meditation, I talked about letting go of expectations. That it's just natural, like the drift of the mind. It's also natural that we're going to have expectations, like that question kind of points to. Should this feel a certain way? Should I be meditating correctly? What should I expect, right? The answer is for you to discover in the present moment. That is the joy. Hopefully, if there's been enough mindfulness established with this quality of receptivity, we should just feel better. It should feel wholesome, more connected, more alive, perhaps more integrated, an experience of wholeness. But truly, in any moment, your experience is your deepest teacher. And if the quality of receptivity is present, then the answer to your question will be found in your own experience at the end of any meditation. And I do want to say that there's nothing that you're expected to feel, and that there's nothing you can do wrong from a mindfulness perspective. It's all about the attitude of the mind and how we relate to our experience that sets us free. So thank you so much. I really, truly, truly enjoyed this practice with you now. And I'd love to warmly invite you to take a course on joy that I am offering on Round Glass called Discovering Joy in Challenging Times. It's a mindfulness journey to really help you continue to access more joy in this way, no matter how difficult the external conditions or the present moment circumstances. I want to thank you all for questions and for your kind, beautiful presence. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much.